And hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man with the golden scissors, Kyle Charles.
The man who got his head shined up real nice with Mr. Clean, CY Chung.
See, I was connected. And today, in this brand spanking new episode, we are going to be reviewing AEW's 666, and also the pay-per-view that started all, apparently. That's what they kept saying. Double or Nothing 2025. Yes, a star-studded show, I may say.
Yep. Though we both skipped the pre-show.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I was watching the media scrum and Bandito was on it with his Ring of Honor champion. I was like, he wasn't on the main show. But no, but he was in a 6-man match on the pre-show, which
Wow. Okay. How the might?
I think the thing is, there were 2 pre-show matches. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron, which I was like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued because of Harley's antics.
Yeah.
And Megan Bayne's, well, they've been pushing her, so.
Yeah.
A big meaty lady, right?
Yeah. But
then I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then there was the other one, which is Crew and RPG Vice versus AR Fox, Bandito, and Los Tatiles del Aya.
So they call. However. All right, I was going to ask this, but then you kind of. I was going to ask you later on.
I'm just pronouncing it as I'm reading it.
No, because later on, you couldn't watch it either. So this question doesn't make any sense. Anyone might ask you, but because they're called Roppongi Vice, isn't it? And that's shortened to RPG, right?
Yeah.
So
I was reading, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, yes. Is it a rebrand? I don't know. That's what I thought. That's some weird rebrand they did, but okay. We'll never know unless we find out somehow. Okay, yep.
Okay, so onto the show proper. Yep.
Yes.
The Owen Hart Women's Final match: Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. Now, were you surprised that this was the first match on the card?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because give me
the breakdown.
It kind of makes sense now because the men's finals at the end, didn't it? So okay, you start and end with that. So okay, that makes kind of sense now.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't necessarily need to, but yes, because the women's could have been the semi-finals and
and then the reason why I was like, this is weird, is because this match has more stakes than a lot of other matches on the card. That's why I was like, that's a bit of a weird way to start it. But then again, I realized
I think you either have the 6-man multi-man match at the beginning. Yeah, that's the Adam Cole match.
Yeah.
Or you have one the tag match. No, but then it's awkward because there's another 6-man match also here. A bit later on. Oh no, sorry, it's a tag match. Yeah. Sorry, there's 2 tag matches.
Yeah.
A multi-man, a 10-man match, and a 6-man match.
Yeah.
And then you got to structure your card between all the other singles matches as well. So, maybe I would have had the Paragon versus Don Callis family first.
No, I would have had the FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, one of those matches.
One of those 2, because.
But then I might put this match second because then you needed that breather between that to get and the finals because you are gonna if Anakin in the arena is not the main event, then it's kind of somewhere up into the middle.
Yeah, it has to be in it because you got the AEW All Stars one there, isn't it? So in that stratosphere.
And I thought they were going to do the AEW the Anakin in the arena, and then have the Will Ospreay Hangman Adam Page match right afterwards, and I was like, well.
No, I think if you had those 2 matches, because both those matches are long, right?
Yeah.
One after the other, people die. Not the crowd would be dead.
Well, I think between Hangman Adam Page and Will Ospreay, they could have followed up that directly because they are pure wrestling ability, right?
Pure wrestling ability, but if you spent how long's the Anakin Arena match? I want to say an hour. I want to say it's about.
Are you including intros?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably an outro. From the time the first person's entrance music plays to the end,
Yeah.
an hour probably wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility.
Right. Wikipedia claims it's 35 minutes, 10 seconds, but I'm going to add like 10 minutes or a bit more for all the entrances, right?
Yeah, because individual entrances as well, remember?
Yeah, so there's no way like you could put on two nearly hour-long matches one after the other without. Like...
Okay. Well, I think they could have pulled it off, but it's probably better that they didn't, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to go to the toilet at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the first match.
Yes.
Mercedes versus Jamie here. Now, I liked it. A good match overall. There was a bit where Jamie went to run up the steps to clothesline Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
And her foot slipped on the first step, but her other foot managed to step on the top of the steps before, and she launched herself basically on one leg.
Yeah.
But I was like, if she slipped in a way, you know how you can slip and your shin just smacks into the corner.
Yeah.
I was like, lucky for her, probably shin pad or whatever, that she didn't do that because she didn't even come up sending the leg.
No.
Or anything like that.
But
she had a missed chance somewhere. The end of the match, where they went to do the small package, and it was like a small package DDT.
Yeah. It was like
she should have sold that. I know probably she didn't. She's in it, and she can't see the replay of it, of course, yeah. But taking a fluke drive right on your head and a free counter afterwards, you could sell your head like, oh, you know, the accidental botch move, quote unquote, because then was the thing that got you pinned.
Yeah, she could have done it that way, but I just thought they didn't. I don't know, because I guess obviously she can't hear on commentary. Like, say commentary was saying it looks like it's a DDT. She can't hear that, so she can't really.
Exactly. So obviously, and her back was to the screen when the maneuver was happening as well. So
it's
all she could really sell was the way that they went down and not into a smooth roll, but she wouldn't have known how it looked. So it looked way more devastating than what it was.
Yeah. It was like, okay, you undersold that in a way, but all right, sure. But I really enjoyed this match. I liked. It's gonna sound weird. I like the spamming of the backstabber. I actually like spamming it because it kind of made sense.
Yeah. Spamming meteoros as well, but not to the level where she was having that match with Chris Statlander, where she just like every other move was a meteoro.
Yeah. Because it kind of, when she spammed it it kind of called for it in the match. If that makes sense. I like that match. Yeah. And then there was that when she sold the tombstone. That was awesome. I don't know why. It's just how her legs kind of like folded in. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah, and do you think she could have pulled off a moneymaker on Jamie here?
No. It's too tall.
Do you reckon that's why they didn't try to pull it off? Because she did climb to the top rope and try to attempt one, and I say try to attempt one, but she hooked her arms, and you think she was going for a top rope moneymaker or something like that, but they didn't. They weren't going to go. You're like, I don't know how about the rotation there, and how you're going to flip her to the side with both of you on the center. Yeah,
that's why I was like, obviously this move can never work because like gravity is a thing, so that it would never going to make any sense. So I'm like, hey, good tease, I guess. And yeah, it was a good match. This is like one like I would say I'm a Mercedes fan.
Yeah.
Probably more of a Sasha fan, if that makes any sense. They're the same person, but they're not. Anyway.
Well, no, but I think there is a difference because she's less bling as Mercedes.
Yeah, but I haven't really enjoyed many of Mercedes' matches, right?
Yeah,
I enjoyed a lot of like Sasha's matches, but Mercedes I haven't really enjoyed a lot of them. But this is like the first one in a while I've actually like really liked. I was like, oh yeah, this is a really good match. She's.
I will say as well, as far as the characters, it's not like when you have Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson, where one's the underdog and the other one will kick your head in, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Mercedes is a little bit more of a toned down version of Sasha Banks.
Nah, I think it's the other way around, man.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know Sasha Banks always felt like confident and stuff like that. Mercedes seems like she's a dick. You know what I mean?
Okay, I will say this. Mercedes seems like she, with all her belts running away and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
She's a bit more cartoonish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I say a lower key version, I mean like you say the presentation of Sasha Banks was a bit more.
Yeah, more.
Um,
Actually, I never know about that.
in a serious direction.
Yeah. And Mercedes is more like over the top.
Yeah.
As in, like, she's the CEO, but CEO of what? I don't know.
Well, yeah. But the funny thing is as well, we say this as well.
Yeah.
But when Mercedes won with that roll up,
Yeah.
she just rolled right out of the
Yeah, I
ring.
love that.
She flopped out of the ring, essentially.
Ran.
And she just scarpered up the ramp, yeah, and just flopped right next to the Owen Hart trophy and just grabbing at it like, it's mine.
I actually love that. I actually found that hilarious. Like, oh, she's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's not hyper serious, you know.
No. Because she ran up there, I was like, why should she run up there? Once I saw the stand, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I funny enough, I accepted it for the character as well.
Yeah.
It was completely over the top, just as you were saying before.
Yeah, it was great. Great.
But I like the match as well. The match was solid. Jamie Hayter was just like, you know, I'm just too.
I'm here.
I wouldn't say she's a power wrestler, yeah. But she was definitively here.
Yeah.
Real life stats don't know, right? According to kayfabe stats, she's definitively stronger than Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes had to be a bit more sneaky.
Yeah. Which.
Well, sneaky / technical, right? You have to try and sometimes do the pin attempts and stuff rather than to try and win outright.
Yeah.
Which is acceptable. You know?
Makes sense.
It is a wrestling match. You're meant to try and get the pins or submission.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the match. Yeah, is to get the pin.
Yeah. Not every match needs a finisher.
No.
So Mercedes wins. Are you happy with Mercedes winning?
Yeah, because I said it makes sense to me.
Okay.
She's gonna.
Well, when we were going into this match. When you were going into this match.
Yeah.
Did you have a prediction in your head, like which direction? Oh, really? You thought Mercedes was going to win straight up?
As soon as Mercedes was in the Owen Hart tournament and she beat Athena, I was like, yeah, she's winning the whole thing.
Okay, fair. I mean, when I was thinking, it could kind of go either way.
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. That's why I was like, I guess for me it was like, oh, you know what? I mean, Jamie Hayter is on the comeback, so. But if this was Chris Statlander in the finals, then I would have been a bit more towards Chris Statlander winning because she's already lost twice, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So on the third match, she gets her win in the finals of the Owen Hart tournament. But no, they didn't do that. So I was like, all right, okay.
Nah, Statlander ain't win. Like, it's sad to say this, but I feel like Statlander, Jamie Hayter, even where there's a certain extent, they're not doing anything with them.
Oh yeah, well they aren't really. But then Mercedes already got a TBS title. Yeah, and she's gonna get a world title shot now, a women's world title shot after this. So
she's gonna win it.
Oh, you reckon she's just gonna have the 3 titles because she's still got a Rev? No. Yeah, because she's got the TBS, the Rev Pro, and the Queen of Southside.
Yeah.
Which are both one title.
The same title. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. And it makes sense because she gets paid the most, so she'll win.
What do you your prediction now, by the way, is saying that Mercedes will beat Toni Storm for the women's title?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But I might be wrong. I probably am wrong, but we'll see.
Okay. You're saying. I think she won't, only because then people will start thinking that she's. Whether she does have creative control or not, it starts going a bit. In the ways of it don't work for me, sister. You know.
Yeah.
So even if she loses, people will probably say, if she loses the match, she'll be like, that's because people are going to say that if she won, she used creative control. Whereas if she wins, they're going to say that as well. So it's just like. Whatever happens, then
happens. Yeah, it's that point.
Exactly.
No
people are like there'll be people on one side or the other side, which is
sadly.
Though I think if she does win the title, kind of, I don't know where they go from there. She needs to lose one of those titles.
Yeah, because it's one of those things. If she loses the TBS title before she gets that title, then I can see her winning properly. Because then
exactly.
People can't really moan about it. But if she wins. And has both titles, and I think it's too soon in AEW's lifespan to have someone with both titles. But
and then why not just go the full hog and give her and ring up on a women's title match as well? Just give her all the titles.
Yeah.
No. Who do you think, by the way, will win that TBS title off Mercedes? Are we both thinking Athena?
No,
Okay.
because if Athena was on AEW more, then I was like, yeah, maybe. But no, she's
Yeah.
just relegated to it.
But so you're gonna be like someone who they're gonna build someone to win that TBS title off
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Might be what's the name, Harley Cameron, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah. Though if Harley does do it, I would accept it. So it's not like it came out of nowhere because there's a feud that happened before.
Yeah,
and she's a joke character, but you want to be like Dan in Street Fighter, where you're kind of a lethal joke character.
Yeah. Because they built the story to it, so it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next match: FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean exactly?
It just, I don't know. All right. It felt.
We got confused when this match was announced.
Like, all right, the match is okay, right, but
yeah,
it just felt long.
I agree. It was longer than necessary.
Yeah,
and I do accept that it was kind of to get Daniel a little bit of a showcase for Daniel Garcia to get him a bit more crowd support, right?
Yeah.
Man just won the TNT title, and no one cared.
No one cared. Well, they cared at the time, but then it just seemed like AEW didn't care because they did nothing with him afterwards. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to say it wasn't relevant or irrelevant, but it was just like the best thing that happened during his TNT title reign was the match against Okada in the Continental Classic.
Yeah,
that's that.
Yeah,
that he didn't lose, right? There was a draw.
Yeah,
okay.
And then literally, like, there's two high points in his TNT title reign was winning it from Jack Perry, and then the match with Okada. Other than that,
yeah. You wouldn't even say the high point was the loss to Adam Cole, really.
Yeah, literally, that was it. Yeah, and as soon as that match got announced, like, yeah, Adam Cole's winning. But
yeah, it's about time that Adam Cole won something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I don't mind that they structured it around Daniel Garcia.
No, I don't mind it.
But I think they need to, it's one of those things where it's like, this guy's here. What are they doing with him? He's not. Where would you say he is? Mid card or lower mid?
Lower mid.
Yeah. And do you reckon they're going to try and build him a bit higher?
No.
Or do you think he's kind of hit relative to where he is?
I think he's hit relative where he is right now. He's like not done for, but
yeah,
it's not like he can still come out of the pit he's in, but they need to start doing better things with him, because like even this match, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not even really like based around him. It's between Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone and FTR. That's literally what the feud is, and Daniel Garcia is kind of there.
Okay. So actually, let's separate it into two different things. Right. The storyline going into the match.
Yeah.
He was not involved in until the very end, right?
Yeah.
The match itself, though, was kind of structured with him, like towards the end of it. It was like more of a him taking over the control of the match, or doing stuff, right? Or taking the heat, or whatever it is. So I want to say the match was kind of structured around him, ish.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Yeah.
Especially when Nigel got taken out a bit later on, and then Daniel Garcia was basically. I thought he was just going to go to that. He was going to get the charge up power mode where he's. You know how it is in the tag match where one guy's fighting off two people, and it's getting that one guy. Overwhelming two guys, but that's what happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You get the power up.
Yeah.
And then they eventually take you down. Yeah. Which kind of they did, but kind of they didn't. He just started eating power drivers.
Yeah. Oh.
And then when he was in the sharpshooter at the end, I thought, so he fainted, or he passed out, whatever. Would you have been, or if he just tapped, would that have been all right for you? Like,
you've been all right, but they should. Me personally, he just got pinned.
Oh yeah, he could have just ate the shatter machine and just
which makes more sense to me realistically. But I don't know. I guess they're saying that he's got the heart of a dragon or whatever, and that's why he passed out. But it's like, Okay.
Well, it should have been. It should have been. He either took a shot to the head with a foreign object and then got put in the sharpshooter, and then he could pass out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's right out.
Or he could. I mean, it doesn't hurt him to tap out because of where he is, anyways. And FTR are kind of they're the heels of the match.
Yeah.
They're also kind of the ones that need to get over because they're going to go into I feel like they're going to reinvigorate them and put them in the tag run until your boy Adam Copeland comes back.
I don't think they do that. I just think they're just wasting time. Because, like, there's no way you're going to get, like, Hurt Syndicate versus FTR.
It might be a multi-team tag match thing.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think they're going to win it. But
well, you mean there needs to be a transitional champion between the Hurt Syndicate and then FTR winning the titles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, first of all, that makes sense. But secondly, I think they need to. They're trying to rebuild FTR to get to that point anyway.
Yeah.
And when you say spinning wheels, it's not as if you just need to have a couple of time matches while the storylines then the teams then run into their own crossover.
Yeah.
Because you keep them apart because, like you're saying, they're both heels.
Yeah.
Until you get to a point where you get a couple of teams that cross over in the middle, and then you can pull them all together.
Yeah, you pull them together, and then
rather than a heel versus heel, which has happened. But I don't know. It's gonna sound bad. Then it's the more entertaining heels. They're the ones that end up being kind of the faces during the match.
Yeah.
But and FTR can act like a bunch of clowns, like when they pile drive your boy Edge, and then they put the neck brace on and put themselves on the stretcher.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hurt Syndicate are like, we're hyper serious. Well, as serious as we can be, but yeah.
Yeah. But we'll talk more about that when we get to the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah. Okay. I thought Nigel McGuinness had a good showing in this match because we are Nigel McGuinness fans.
He did all right.
Yeah.
Because like obviously he's got ring rust because he hasn't wrestled since they said the year he hasn't wrestled from. It might be 2009 or something. I can't remember what they said.
Well, that's in full time, right? Because he has done two matches.
Yeah, they include that. They're saying like obviously he's only wrestled like twice since then. So it's like I kind of get there's like some like little ring rust, like some spots didn't transition right or whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like he did more than someone of his position should have, because like he's a part-time wrestler, right? That's right. And he had too many spots where he was giving it to FTR. It's like, but FTR the younger.
There was one bit during this match where both FTR guys were going to the ropes.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they got thrown to the ropes or not, right? And I think Daniel Garcia ducks his guy, and the other guy was coming to Nigel McGuinness, who was also like facing the opposite direction. So he kind of pushed Nigel McGuinness to the side so he get clotheslined by his own teammate.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. I mean, that's one where the angles are like the camera angle just made it super obvious what happened.
Yeah, which is hilarious. They've done it quite a lot in this show. Yeah.
But no, look, like you say, this match should have been actually cut for half the time that it was.
Yeah. And
that would have been much more bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, it was fine. It wasn't terrible. But what ran against it was the how long it was for.
Yeah. And Nigel taking a shatter machine on the outside, I thought that was pretty cool. Shame. And then the end with that's giving in Daniel a power driver, and then give him a jumping power driver, and then putting him in a sharpshooter. I was like, that's a bit overkill, right?
So I'm like, you know what? If he fair enough, it did pass out, but you should have been one of those things where the referee just took his hand and it dropped 3 times.
Yeah.
After done 2 power, so the power driver and the double spike power driver.
Yeah.
And at that point, you can just be like knocked out.
Yeah, but
the sharpshooter then was just for show, in the sense that Daniel Garcia did it to one of them before.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this man is dead. This man, we finished him. Dropped him in his head so many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting him a sharpshooter just for the jokes.
Just for jokes, like, but it's a bit overkill. But okay, sure.
Yeah, just for the trolls. And then they lift his hand, drop 3 times. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
But,
Even if they wanted to, they could have just picked him up and given him a shatter machine and then put him in the sharpshooter
Yeah.
because that's it, finished completely.
Should
right?
have, but hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, decent.
So this next match, I was surprised at.
Yeah.
Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet, stretcher match.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it actually.
Same,
I was like,
same.
obviously, I like, and no, it's like the clash of styles because Ricochet is not a guy who does hardcore.
No.
And Mark Briscoe seems like a guy of the Cactus Jack variety.
Yeah.
What you put me in that style match, and that is my forte.
Yeah. Which
and I think they started because this match had a couple of different modes because they started with the comedy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where Mark Briscoe's it's got the cleaning utensils and stuff like that. And you're like, what is going on? And he's just like shining Ricochet's bald head. Yeah, all right, okay. I'm all for it, all right. But then it gets more serious because then they build towards scissors and the blood and stuff like that.
Yeah, it got a bit. It went like, oh wow, this is turned super violent now. Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't sudden because it was like it started at one point and just gradually went to another point.
Yeah, which was good. I like that because it all sort of changed when it was after the beginning where Mark's basically is winning and then he takes Ricochet up to the ambulance. No, it's before then up to the ambulance and then Ricochet gets out and then he come back down to the ramp and he starts like, smacking his head on the stretcher repeatedly. That cuts him open. It's like, oh. This is where we're going. And then that's when the violence started ramping up more.
Was that before or after? I think it was just before. No, I think this move where Ricochet did a shooting star press and he missed Mark on the stretch and he crotched himself. That was a little comedy spot. But yes, I think just after that, he was smashing Mark's head against the stretch and all of a sudden there's blood everywhere.
Yeah, like, ooh, okay. Didn't think we'll go that far. Oh.
And then Ricochet being the clown that he is, well, he's not a fool, but he is foolish, right? Put it that way.
Yeah.
Running, go underneath the ring apron, try to stab Mark with the scissors, and I think he didn't get him that time.
No.
And then Mark gets the scissors, he showcases, and then he goes to stab Ricochet, and Ricochet's got another pair of scissors and stabs Mark.
You're like, okay. So,
just kick him in the nuts and then stab him.
No, that's the finish.
Oh, okay,
that's the finish.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
But there was another funny spot. When before it got serious, there was another funny spot. Oh no, when Mark went to do his tribute to Sabu, the triple jump, and then Ricochet just threw a chair in his face. Like, oh, that's a bit much. Wow, that's a bit mean. Then there's something. Wait. I've got. Also, I did like when Mark hit him Ricochet with the J driller in the middle of the ring. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Shout out to his brother. Then he tried to do it again on the outside, and then that's when Ricochet reverses it and gives him a back body drop. And then this is when Ricochet goes to stab him with the scissors, and then Mark grabs like, no, you're not stabbing me, and then. They bound a bit more towards the ambulance, and then that's when Ricochet from somewhere got the other gold one.
Sorry, my mistake. Because I think the first pair of scissors was underneath the ring.
Yeah.
And then the second pair, where Mark is going to, like, he's showcasing he's going to stab Ricochet, and Ricochet kind of stumbles towards the ambulance up that direction. And all of a sudden, he shanks him first.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. But then
what I did like as well is the scissors were gold. The first pair of scissors, so everyone could see what they were. It's like when they have the red hammer and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you can tell.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other pair were silver, chrome or whatever you want to call them, right?
Okay.
But okay, fine. We know exactly what these objects are, even though you wouldn't have a gold pair of scissors. But I accept in the kayfabe universe.
Yeah, like
the people up the rafters need to be able to see.
Yeah. So then he stabs him, but doesn't kill Mark, obviously. But it doesn't hurt him. And then there's another little bit when Mark goes to do something. I can't remember what he actually goes to do, and then I think the referee or something gets distracted, and then that's when Ricochet kicks him in the nuts, and then hits him with the spirit gun, and then throws him in the ambulance, and gets done.
Yeah. There was a bit also where earlier where Ricochet threw Mark in the ambulance, but Mark used first of all, he had the crutch, right?
Yeah.
Just above Ricochet's head, so I thought he was going to dink him in the
That's
head.
what I thought.
But no, he just waited for Ricochet to close the door.
Yeah, and I was like...
Ricochet, for some reason, got tunnel vision where he cannot see above his own head, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, why isn't the door closing? Why didn't the door close? And then he looks up and he sells like, what? Where's this come from? It's like, dude, you gotta...
Like... Because I thought...
The shadow in front of you, come on.
Because I thought they messed up the spot or something. Or Ricochet took too long to shut the door. Because obviously...
I think he was just... because he was selling to the crowd. Yes,
yeah.
I got him, he's finished and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. And then... Yeah, and then Ricochet wins.
Yeah, and I enjoyed this. It wasn't super bloody to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't like it, right?
Yeah,
I was like, this is fine, you know?
Yeah,
it wasn't like Hangman Swerve where you're drinking each other's blood.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't go that
like
stupidly far. It stayed as long as it meant to. You know.
Yeah. And it kind of built.
Yeah.
To the violence, they didn't start off there. They started kind of a bit silly, and then it went to a level where you're like not uncomfortable. You're like, okay, it's within the realms of not comedic violence necessary, but you know, to go from jokey to serious. That's where they kind of ran the line they needed to.
Yeah, the only thing I thought was hilarious, and it's like it's an aesthetics thing, and I've found this ever since Ricochet's come to AEW. When he wears the pants, instead of, like when he wears trunks instead of like the trousers or whatever, I just can't take him seriously.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It just looks weird. He looks like half done.
Right. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Mark was wearing a white t-shirt, and so just so you can see all the blood everywhere.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as I saw him coming in the white t-shirt, yep, he's bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. I enjoy Mark Briscoe's work. But yeah, and then there was another thing of Ricochet that made me laugh. Like he's meant to be this like super dark, sinister guy now, right? That's his gimmick, right?
Well, okay, go on, yeah.
But he comes out in a Naruto gown. It's like, what?
I see. This is what I get from Ricochet character, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy who thinks he's super dark and serious. He thinks he's Batman.
Yeah. No, he thinks he's like Norman Bates or something, or Patrick Bates from like Psycho. But it's like
Patrick Bateman. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, but you come out wearing anime stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. He thinks he's Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
Even though Patrick Bateman is like over the top parody of a toxic male.
Yeah.
Douchebag called it. But you think you're Patrick Bateman, and you're actually he's like a kind of a foolish character that you can cut. That's not seriously taken.
I'll say Napoleon Dynamite.
He's Yamcha.
Yes. Well,
even though back in the day, I look, yeah. To be fair, there's worse things to be than Yamcha.
Yeah, it's true. You could be Yajirobe. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. At least Yamcha can do stuff.
He could do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just gave up.
Yeah. But it's the meme of him lying on the floor. That's what and dying from the Cybermen.
Yeah.
So I think it's the equivalent, like you're saying. He thinks he's Patrick Bateman, and he's actually Yamcha.
Yeah, poor guy. But yeah, I
think that's the whole gimmick, though. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. Because I think with his character and his moveset, you couldn't go proper like super villainish. I mean, not super villainish, but like
because you get cheered for the moves.
Yeah, so you got to be that with that line.
And if you don't do the moves, people be like,
"Why are you doing the moves?
We're here." Yeah. Well, wait, no. It's like we're here to see him do the moves. Yeah. So
do it.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like you said, there's got to be there's a fine line somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. If you're not super serious and you're kind of slightly comedic, you still can do the moves, but be a dickhead doing the moves afterwards.
Yeah,
so,
like Neville. Yeah.
Just to show off. As well. Okay. But yeah, we both enjoyed this match.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Tag team title match. The Sons of Texas, Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes, who are also the Ring of Honor tag team champions.
And Dustin's also the Ring of Honor. He's also the Ring of Honor six-man time champion as well.
Yeah. Versus the Hurt Syndicate, who are
the
Sean Benjamin and Bobby Lashley.
Yep, the AEW tag team
with MVP and MJF on the side.
Yeah.
Not title versus title match, which is
No.
fine.
Which I found hilarious. They mentioned on commentary. I was like, they was like, yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't want to do it because the chicken's like, okay, at least you've explained that. I'm cool with that.
yeah.
I mean, rather than just not mentioning it, yeah. So I enjoyed that bit. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a semi-distraction. The whole match was MJF because I was just waiting for the point that I thought he was gonna turn on them because there was plenty of times where they go to say to him, he's about to help them heal, and they're like, no, we don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And then a couple of times where he put the diamond ring on, he's about to punch one of the Sons of Texas, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, cool down, MJF.
Like,
We're
bro,
good.
yeah, calm down. Yeah,
And then when Lashley's showing off with MJF, I'm like, they're showing off a bit too long. Is MJF just going to turn around and punch him in the head?
Yeah. And they just start laughing and hugging. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then at that point, I was still expecting him to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it on them for so long?
Same. I was like, okay. But I was kind of glad they didn't do that. I was like,
Yeah. Yep.
drag it out a bit.
So to be fair, and this is right at the very end of the match.
Yeah.
The bit where they did it extensive. Also, MJF was going to punch Dustin, which, by the way, Dustin had really good face paint on the half of his face.
I didn't even notice
the blue half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So he comes to the outside. And MJF is just lining up to punch him with the diamond ring, as he's done a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
And then Lashley comes out and goes, no, stand to the side. I got this,
Yeah.
right? That's the first time MJF was going to. I thought he was just going to give him the turn on him. But no, Bobby Lashley then spears Dustin through one of the barricades.
Yeah.
And then they're showing off for like a while, right?
Yeah.
And then a bit while too long, so you just expecting MJF to go turn on him, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Sammy Guevara running to do a suicide dive.
Yeah.
And I thought MJF was going to push Lashley out the way and take it, and then you'd be like, oh, he's solidifying that he's actually with them.
Yeah.
Right? But what they did is got Shelton Benjamin to run and do a flying knee
was awesome.
and catch Sammy. I think the timing was, I don't want to say slightly off, right? But
yeah, it wasn't
Sammy
great.
didn't start to launch himself coming out because he knew it was coming, but he was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't quite.
Yeah.
Because look, I mean, it's only a split second, but both your feet would have left the floor by that point if you were committed to doing the move.
Committed, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a major knock or anything like that, but you could. It's just one of these where you're like, oof, just
But I think even that's the only way you could really do that spot anyway. Because if you did propel yourself and that happens, I don't know what would.
Yeah, because exactly. Then you would have to actually come out and mess up everything because you're not supposed to be coming out.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, that was
and then Sammy Guevara took a couple of flying knees and then Shelton Benjamin finishing it off with a super kick. I thought, oh, that a super kick? Oh.
Yeah,
but
that's been his finisher in AEW.
Yeah, I thought it might bust out with the old explode. But at that point, because he was just doing all his moves on Sammy, I was like, oh, you know what? Just hit him with.
I thought that he was gonna hit him because what they've been doing recently on Dynamite and stuff, like Shelton do all that, and then Bobby would hit him with the spear afterwards.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be some sort of high impact. Even if he did the explosion suplex or something afterwards, I just thought there was going to be something like a statement at the end of it. Yeah,
and the match was okay.
Yeah, I think. Okay, go on.
I just found it funny. It's like three of the guys in there are like WWE size, and then you got Sammy Guevara. So it's like 3 men and a child. So that's how I kind of felt. And then Sammy, I don't know. I think like he didn't get too much offense in, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he got a bit more offense in, like a bit.
Would you say this was like the last time's match where it was a showcase for the Hurt Syndicate to beat up the Outrunners, and that was more of an extended squash, even though it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Would you say this was more of the same?
No, I feel like it was somewhat competitive because obviously they can't bury the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, can they? Even though they don't care about Ring of Honor. But
I think you say this, but other organizations sometimes bury other organizations.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, it's under umbrella, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed it was a fun match.
You know. Let me call you out something. Let me call you out right away on them. You're saying they're the Ring of Honor Tag Champions, and you shouldn't bury them, right?
No, I said
you're allowed Henry to get pinned in 2 minutes in WrestleMania against Randy Orton.
All right, this is the difference, right? This is the difference.
No, because they're not owned by the same parent
More
company.
than that, right?
Okay.
Ring of like most of the they've sort of separated the Ring of Honor and AEW roster, sort of, right? Kind of.
Yeah. I think they should do more of a hard divide, but
then all the people who are champions in Ring of Honor are on the AEW roster. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's why they shouldn't. That's why I'm thinking if you're a champion or the number one contender or something, you should stay on that show.
Yeah. Because
unless there's an actual reason for the crossover.
Yeah.
Right? Like Forbidden Door.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but there's like realistically, why is Dustin and Sammy Guevara AEW?
Yeah.
Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to skip to something else. Oh, actually, hold on. Yeah, so you're finishing speaking about this match, and let me skip to something else before we get back to the review of this. Yeah, so you found this match, it was fine, right? It wasn't,
fine,
it was decently competitive, no extended squash, and you're like, you accept it for what it is. Yeah?
I accept it for what it is. I feel like Lashley should be doing more, but
yes, and I do agree with you. And when I'm starting, I'm not saying, I think Shelton Benjamin should also.
He should also be doing something more than he should be.
But at the point where they both are, though, establishing them, I'm fine where they are in the tag division at the point before they start both branching out to singles.
Yeah.
But this is a step in the where they are is currently the right direction for them.
Yes.
So they will eventually go to wherever they need to go to in other directions.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me mention. So Trick Williams won the TNA title off Joe Hendry.
Yep.
And what do you think about that?
Because I see it as a good for TNA at the moment because they're trying to get TV deals and stuff. So getting them being promoted, their championship being promoted on WWE television will bring eyes to their product, and then he's gonna lose it back to Joe Henry at Slammiversary because I think that's really soon. So it's alright.
See,
and he cheated to win. So
first of all, it is what it is, right? And personally, I'm thinking, right, what should they have Joe Henry win back, or should Joe Henry go for an NXT title? At that point, it's like, well, you've taken the title from our organization. Let me go for the title from your organization. And then you have someone like Frankie Kazarian actually win the TNA World title back, or something like that, or Santana, or whoever they're going for.
Oh, Santana, yeah. I was like Frankie Kazarian. No, go on.
But what I'm saying,
I get you mean.
Joe Henry doesn't need to go back for that title.
Nah.
Even though he's only lost it. It's like puts over someone else on your roster.
I don't know. Yeah. I get what you mean, but because Joe Henry is literally
the walking meme.
Yeah, he's like will sort of bring people's eyes to TNA right at the moment.
It's true. Right? I suppose he memed himself into getting over, and he will. Yeah, so he could just meme himself into a second world title reign.
Yeah. Because I reckon because I think his contract's up next year or this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, if he's basically on the NXT for regular appearances, you might as well just move to NXT and then you can win their title, and then you'd be like, well, I'm already on the roster. My title's, my TNA contract's run out. I'm here.
Yeah. They might just wait for that, but I don't think Trick's gonna have the TNA title for long.
Oh, you reckon that basically on the TNA pay per view he's just gonna lose it?
No, I think if anything. Because I think they'll probably do it at a huge event. Because I think it is Slammiversary, their next big thing. All right, so I think that's in July or August. So I think between now and whenever that is, he'll have that title, and then he'll lose it.
Okay. Yeah. You think to Joe Hendry?
Yeah, to Joe Hendry. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah.
Only makes sense.
Look, logically, what you're saying is probably the thing that they are going to do. I'd prefer them to put the title on someone different, only because then it's because Joe Henry's going to leave anyways. Well, I say he's going to leave, right? But
he's got a year. He's got a year, so.
Okay. Yep. All right. Anyways, that was that. That was that.
Because
we were talking about titles from other companies, right? So it wasn't it was just randomly no reason.
Yeah.
And the TNA World title has been won by an AEW guy.
Yeah.
And a WWE guy.
Yeah.
As a TNA guy. So
yeah.
And I think Penta, was he in CMML when, or AAA, or one of those, when he won the title?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
So,
For a day,
TNA's only one title that is just kind of here, there, everywhere, right?
But you got to remember, Penta won it because the person who originally didn't win it got fired.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Day off, so yeah. Oh.
He had it for a couple of days as well.
A day. Literally a day.
Yeah.
Tapering-wise, yeah.
Okay.
Back to this, yes.
Continental title.
Yeah.
Kazuchika Okada, champion, versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yes.
Yeah. Not dressed, by the way, as Speedball from New Warriors.
Or Penance, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if he comes out as Penance, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious, but no one would get it. Only a few people get it. Like,
and then me and you'd be like, oh, yeah. Because, no, first of all, the spikes on the inside. What?
Yeah. That was a period in comics no one wants to remember, but yeah. Oh.
Okay, now I enjoyed this match, though. I think personally, I think Okada should have got more offensive in.
You know what? I may counter with what you're going to say.
Okay, go on.
I feel like, because I got it in my notes, I like this match because, like, when Speedball was like on the had a run going, Okada just shut it down. And I kind of like that. And then I like how commentary saying, like, basically he's like the best wrestler in the world, tournament wrestler, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Even though tournament wrestler has nothing to do with the match we're having right now, but okay, sure. Like, so I kind of like how they kept on like saying like, yeah, Okada is like God when it comes to wrestling. So
yeah,
give me props. So yeah, I like that part that he was just shutting everything down. I was like, nah, dogs, I am the man. So yeah, that was my.
I thought there was bits where, funny enough, we're obviously watching the same match, but I think we have different takeaways from it, because I take away from this match where they were trying to get Speedball Mike Bailey over without him winning, of course.
Yeah, which they kind of did. Yeah.
And so to go to the end, right? Go to the end, and this is why I'm saying the thing I'm saying, right? What's it? What did he try to do at the top there? Was it a Phoenix Splash of some sort?
Which time? Because there was the time when Okada.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for
him in the face.
He was going for his move, Ultimate Weapon, which is a Phoenix Splash knee drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the timing was good on it because Okada got him right in the face.
Yeah. With
a drop kick, and you have to say when the guy's in the middle of a rotation, like it's just like when Bryan Danielson did the flying knee on Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like, for example, the RKO where you can have a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
As the person's coming down, or if you come down slightly quicker, you got a small window here to catch them.
Yeah, he's got to be on point. Yeah. But this proves that Okada's wrestling god. But go on.
Yeah, yeah. And then he picks up from the Rainmakers, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought he was just going to do his. I think they are Okada 5 minutes of doom, but I thought he was going to give him the spinning tombstone and the German suplex, and then the Rainmaker, just to be like, I'm going to hit all my power moves to knock this guy out.
You know, I've realized
he's been having good run of offense during the entire match, and like you say, Okada had these bits where he would have his comeback. But I think Speedball got more offense. Like if we were to percentage it.
Yeah, I kind of say. I'll say he got more offense, but I would say Okada dealt more damage.
Okay. But, are we just saying that? Are you just saying that because of Okada's strength advantage?
No. I just feel like
these stats, right?
No, I just feel like because Okada's moves are more heavy hitting, isn't it? So that's what's like he probably got more like damage out, like than Speedball did.
What did you think of the crane kick?
That was hilarious. I was like,
I think sometimes people do it, and you're like, why would you run towards a kick?
Yeah.
But I get it with Okada because like, he thinks this guy's the way they're playing the match. He didn't take him seriously. People that seriously, anyways, and he's like, "What's this chump doing?" So then he ran towards it, but even though logically speaking, right,
you run away from it. Yeah, you run away from the crane kick. But okay, sure.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was quite good.
Yeah. A lot of spinning kicks from Speedball Mike Bailey. A lot of stuff, or tornado spinning maneuvers, like he's tricking.
Yeah, which. Like this is the first time I've actually seen like a proper match of his. I've only really seen like highlights of him. So seeing like a proper match of his, like, oh yeah, this guy's pretty good. I see the hype. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yes. Yeah.
And Okada, the way that the AEW have presented him, he's like, he does stuff that is funny.
Yeah, but he can switch it. It's like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes his matches need him to be a bit more dominating.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a bad match.
No.
Well, rarely he will have a bad match on occasion.
And you know what? I'll go and say.
I was going to say, and if they say to him, make this guy look good during the match, he does it. I don't want to say, he sacrifices a bit of his aura. First of all, he knows exactly who he is and what he is because he's been pushed at the top for so long. But he's not egotistical about it. It's
no.
Yeah. If you want me to make this guy, have it look like he has a decent chance of winning this title, yeah. And there was a couple of times, by the way, that I bought Speedball.
Same.
Kind of get the pins. It was like roll-up pins and stuff like that. But and high-impact moves. But it's like Kenny and Okada have a date with Destiny on All In. July 12th.
Yeah.
So why is he going to lose now?
Yeah.
But there was bits. Yeah, exactly.
There was one bit where I thought it was a bit, when there's a bit where Bailey hits this move called Time Adventure. It's one of the time he did the multiple kicks into the corner, right? Where he span and he kicked him. And then he pinned Okada and it was literally by the rope. And then literally the two was like, I say 2.9 seconds. He just went like that, grabbed the rope. And I thought, no, that's how they can kind of get around him losing. Yeah. And then he didn't. So I was like, oh, thank God, because Okada can't lose.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, the referee did smack the mat, but...
Yeah. But...
And I think maybe Okada was meant to reach for the rope before that happened, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, he reached for the rope before that the hand hit the...
Yeah, you can see he hit, but the referee saw, so that's why he's like, no, it didn't count. So
but he didn't have enough time to do the thing where
he bring it back up.
Sending me from the ground and spin around like red shoes.
Yeah. Red shoes. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
And good for them, they actually showed the replay of it as well.
Yeah.
But it was close. It was close, I have to say, right?
Super close.
Yeah. Okada definitely got the ropes.
Because Okada's the man.
But Speedball came out looking good in this match. So look, this match did what it was designed to.
Yeah. It was get both parties. I say get both parties open. They get people to know how Speedball is good. And the other thing I was going to say before and I kind of forgot. People say AEW don't really use Okada that much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they don't, because then when he wrestles, you get the specialness of his wrestling. You know what I mean? Because he was on if he was wrestling every week on Dynamite and stuff like that, you kind of the smell will come off the rose. But because he wrestles every now and then, it's like a spectacle. Yeah, that's what's right.
I think though there's twice that they used him to wrestle when he didn't need to. Where Swerve was champion and Okada was the challenger, and they should have really built that match. Even it went to a non-finish, right? But that needs to be on something like Grand Slam or Fire Fest.
Yeah.
If you're gonna not do it on a pay-per-view, you do it on a special event. Yeah. Then there was the other one where it was Okada and Bryan Danielson having their rematch, and it was on a Dynamite, I believe, as well. So
was it on Dynamite?
Was it on a Dynamite? I don't think it was on a Was it on the show? I can't remember.
I can't remember now. But I know there was another time where they kind of misused him. I was like, you shouldn't have used him. It was one of the Anarchy Arenas or something. There was a match and he was just there, and then he disappears through halfway for most of it, and he comes back near the end. I was like, you shouldn't have a call.
Yeah. I think some matches, by the way, it can be a draw, and it like the Swerve Okada match or the Bryan Danielson Okada match could have both been time limit draws, and you'd have been fine. Well, you say about the Anarchy Arena where he disappears. Well, yeah, but that's fine because he
I know, but it's like
for Okada, it'd be like, nah, hardcore matches.
Yeah, I know.
Hardcore matches ain't my thing. I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna disappear, and then I'll come back.
Like you could just rip him out of it like before, and he could be replaced with someone else. It's like, okay, why? But sure, Because he like everyone else comes out all bleeding like dirty and stuff, and Okada's just still looking like Okada. Like, oh, okay. I guess.
Yeah. All right. Tony Storm, women's world title match. Tony Storm versus Mina Shinakawa.
Yes.
What did you think?
It was okay.
Yeah. It was like Now, it wasn't amazing,
No,
but it was fine.
it was
right?
fine. Yeah,
But do you think that's because we were not believing that Mina was going to win?
that and didn't they fight before, like a year ago?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that match was better.
Yeah. Well, I just think because I don't know if we like. So Mercedes won the Owen Hart tournament final.
Yeah,
And she beat Mina Shinakawa for the Rev Pro title. So I don't think personally they were going to go back to that.
yeah,
So it kind of like hampered a bit of the Mina's believability of winning.
yeah.
And then also the other thing is I was waiting for a Mariah May run-in at some point, whether it was going to be during the match or after the match or something.
Nah, I think anything Mariah, I think you'd have to wait till the
Forbidden Door when it's back in the UK?
No, but nah. When after Mone and Tony Storm done their thing, because then if you kind of bring her into now, then it kind of muddies all that up, doesn't it?
She can have her own mini feud with Mina Shinakawa.
Yes, anything unless it's do with that, but then
yeah,
you can do that on an episode of Dynamite, her running and be up,
yeah.
So but the match was okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Look. I think we were
already looking past this match.
The way it was going.
Yeah,
that's what kind of made us think, okay, Tony Storm is winning.
Yeah, it makes you look past it. It's like it reminds me of I think it was 2017, right?
Yeah,
it might have been 2013, 2016. Either way, right? It was when Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton were having a feud, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them got moved to SmackDown and one got moved to Raw. But yet they were still carrying a feud. And then they had a match at a pay-per-view before the official brand split started. And you're really like, okay, it's not for a title because that title's got to stay with that brand. So at this point, this feud is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of felt like to me. It's like, or even...
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, what was it recently? A recent one. When Saturday night main event, right? The main event was it was Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, right? But they already set up the Raw after that happened. It would be Gunther versus whoever the champion is. We already know that Jay's winning, right? So this match has no relevance to anything.
Unless of course we Logan Paul wins and then it just gets destroyed by Gunther. We just for 10 minutes.
But the thing is, they pay him too much to get destroyed like that. You end up being like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'll look past this.
Honestly, they pay him what they pay him, and I want to say I'm not surprised because even though he doesn't do too much, he does a lot. He can do what he can do in the ring.
Yeah,
he doesn't do a lot of matches.
Yeah,
but I think they're more like the crossover appeal, blah blah blah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's like okay, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, but back to this match.
Back to this match. Yeah, I was just saying that's how I felt.
I did like the finish. Because Tony Storm's legs were going to get worked on, and then she did kind of like from the small package she did like a really quick snap Storm Zero for the pin. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I suppose this is how when the match is when your body part's been worked on, you've been weakened, whatever, and you get the chance to do your finish, you just straight in there,
desperation.
And, and go for the pin. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
All right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It wasn't like, for example, the previous match where Okada just gave him one Rainmaker and that was that.
You forget
it was like, she had a bad leg, and then the opportunity came up. And she's just like, "Well, I'm taking that."
Yeah, but you got to remember, right? This is how I remember. That's how I see the Rainmaker in Japan, and it only in Wrestle Kingdom can someone take 5 Rainmakers before getting pinned.
Okay.
In America, because of time zone stuff, it's more powerful.
Okay, you're saying like in the Escape Plan, where the revolution of the toilet goes a different direction, whereas where you are, according to the world, the revolution of the Rainmaker when you spin out, right?
Yeah, that's the science, Ask Okada, he told you it's true. But,
Oh yeah, unless you're a Shibata who just takes it and no sells it
No
for
sells
that
it,
that time, which was great, by the way.
Yeah, and then you headbutt him. But yeah.
That was not great. But,
have you actually seen that?
The match?
Yeah.
That 45-minute match at Sakura Genesis. Yeah, I watched it. I think I watched it twice actually. It's really good. The match is really good.
Just the headbutt bit, I'm like, bro. No.
Yeah, I could have done with that. Knowing
what happens.
what happens, like, you know. But the thing is, as well, Okada gets battered during that match.
Yeah.
And Shibata is just really over.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's making the champion look like a punk, right?
Yeah.
No, not really, but you know, that's how they structured the match. And Okada does not look like a punk often.
No.
But it was just like, when they're doing the strikes and stuff, the standard Shibata just like, you sit down and strike me. You're gonna do your best sort of thing.
Yeah.
The big word like Bane, come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Okada just can't win any of them.
No.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shibata.
Yeah, he's the next match.
Even though we didn't mean the transition, right?
No, nope.
And in the arena match where you have it's the Ops, which is Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Kazuya Shibata and
Hobbs.
Yeah, Hobbs. But what's his? Sorry.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah. I thought for some reason I was like badass Hobbs, but I was like, no, that's alright.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah. Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, and Willie Nightingale versus the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Yep.
And the Death Riders, which is Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, John Moxley, and Maria Shafir.
Yes.
And if this match was the main event, by the way, I'd have been happy for Willie Nightingale because I'd be like, you deserve to have that. You know?
But if this was the main event and it was going to end the way I thought it was going to end, it would have been very bad. But yeah.
I'll
get to the part of what I thought. Yeah.
I did like that when Swerve Strickland came out. It had the red lasers, and then you're like, oh, what's going on, right? And he's step out. You can't really from just make it, and it's really dark black with red like highlights somewhere.
Yeah,
you can't really see what's going on. But then he steps through the lasers, and then his Titantron comes on, but it's like inverted colors because it's red and green.
Yeah, it's
and he's in
infrared
Predator outfit. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You know what, right? I want to say this. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. But then I was like, I had that feeling like, this is cool, but this is so lame at the same time. Like, Swerve, like, we get it. Like, I don't know, some of the things he does, he looks cool doing it. But then someone's like, you look goofy, dude. And this is like a mix between.
So it's if everyone else is in on it, if all the team had like those horror villain costumes, or if everyone else was dressed up like because when Kenny Omega came out and he had a semi Captain America outfit, I'm like, okay, but the rest of the team should kind of then have stuff like that, and it makes sense.
Like
the Young Bucks came out as the founding fathers, which didn't make sense with the Death Riders.
No, but it makes sense for what they were doing. Like, okay,
yeah. But it's just like, Swerve, why are you coming out as the? Looks cool. You came out the Predator, but no one else is kind of wearing the.
So I was like, okay, and like Kenny, I get it because the last Anakin Arena match he was in, he wore the same trunks, but it was white instead, and he had a shield. So I was like, okay, continuity, right? And then you had the Ops come out, like Powerhouse Hobbs came in like literally streetwear, which makes sense, right? Streetwear.
What did the T-shirt say? Do you remember?
Big, black, and jacked.
Yeah. Which I say it because Willie Nightingale also wore.
Yeah, I thought
she had reason, but she also had that.
Yeah.
So you know when she pulled the tops down,
the straps down from the
straps.
Yeah.
Then you could see that, and I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, because they're both,
Yeah, and then Joe had the merch shirt on, which I was like, okay, again, Street Fight makes sense. But then Shabat just came out as Shabat. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It kind of proves like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sure. And but yeah, this match, I try to take notes for this, but because this like production wise, I feel sorry for these guys. It's a mess, right? Because you got to keep an eye on all these other things that was going on. Spots get missed, but I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed them. I think they're quite cool.
You know what you expect with these big brawls, and they have music pumping in the background and stuff there, and then when they have that, we're so excited. And then they had let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah,
and then who got thrown into the speaker, and then the music shut.
Hobbs.
Yeah.
I did like how I did that though. How they were playing the Founding Fathers theme for ages, and then Kenny and Swerve's like, no. And Kenny's like, no, stop this. We want to play some of that that generic new metal from the early 2000s. If you know the words, sing along. And I was like, this is gonna be a Linkin Park song. And I was like, oh, there we go. Yeah. But it went on for too long. Not gonna lie, that song went on for too long. I like that song.
Yeah. But then I think that's the whole point of throwing the person the speakers, so they could do that.
And how they did it was pretty. How the setup to it, how Claudio would just spin him, and then I just was gonna let go because you know he does. He just let him go. It flies to the quote unquote speaker. I'm like, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. There was a bit where Willow got a nice bit of offense on all the guys except for Moxley. Right? She speared a whole bunch of them. Yeah. I personally then thought, oh, what they're gonna do is build to Moxley getting the pounce or something like that. Yeah. But somehow they never went to that direction. Nah. Of all the things, because when they had the intergender match, Moxley's kind of being a bit of a bully to Willow, even though he's not meant to be fighting her, right? Yeah. It's just you kind of, if you get to that point, build to that point and have the execution, let her do something, Yeah. He seems to. She speared Mariah Schaefer and one of the other Death Riders, right? Yeah. Or did she get them both?
She speared Marina, and I think Utah, and then she double speared the Young Bucks, and that's when Moxley came in.
By the way, they had the staple gun.
Yeah.
Out, right? And I don't know which buck it was, right? But the staple gun was on the floor, and as they went to double clothesline Willow, and she ducked it. The one buck turned around, and he actually tried to kick the staple gun out of the way of where he was going to bump. Well, I was like, oh, ring awareness, that's actually really good. Yeah. He didn't kick it far enough. He kicked it far, but not out the ring. I think it was aiming to
so he doesn't land
clear so he could land on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kicked it far enough away. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Good, because if he landed on it, that'd have been an awkward landing because it would have been into his. Great. Yeah. And that's a bit where they're using the staples to staple Swerve's tongue. Marina Schaefer used it on Swerve's tongue, and I was like, oof.
That bit was like, how did we get to this point? I mean,
but I tell you what, I think that this is where they missed something. Just like they could have done, right? I say they missed it, but they had the chance to do something. Kind of like a wink and a nod, right? So Kenny Omega's just giving people Snapdragon suplexes. Yeah. Right? And then Marina Shafir tries to kick him and he catches her leg, yeah? Yeah. And then she's like, do it. And he's looking at the crowd doing the, pantomime thing with shall I. And he gets slapped a couple of times and it's spat in her face. And then Kenny's like, fine, I'll give it to you then, yeah? Yeah. But I think, for the jokes, right, myself, it should have been Swerve on the other side. Because then she could have been Arnold. Do it, come on, do it.
Do it, yeah. Because it's permanent, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing about that.
I know that she would have done in the accent, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'd be like, oh, okay.
That would have been quite cool. There was another spot that the women did when I think Marina Shafir, when she suplexed. They was fighting on the barrier, right?
Yeah.
And then she suplexed her on the barrier, and they both landed on. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I've never seen someone actually do it. So that's pretty cool.
I did like as well when people they didn't rate Marina Shafir's wrestling ability. However, she played her part here, right? And she looked fine doing everything she was doing.
I was actually going to say this is the first time I'm actually she's done pretty good because I've always been a fan of her, but I'll honestly say she's not that polished or whatever. But in this match, she did her part and she did really good. It's the most I've actually seen her do.
Yeah. And I did like the women tangling with the guys as well. Yeah. I think when a lot of people had sleeper holds on each other, right? And Willow just slapped the one on Wheeler Yuta. And I'm like, of course.
I felt sorry for Wheeler. Man.
And then who did Marina put one on?
I can't remember,
Yeah. It wasn't Samoa Joe and it wasn't Hobbs.
It might have been Shibata because I don't think...
No, it wouldn't have been Shibata. I think maybe she had one on Kenny Omega.
Actually, I can see that, because Kenny will...
Yeah. Not to say because Kenny's the type of person who would just take stuff just for Isaac Loss. But he fights a 9-year-old. He fought a 9-year-old girl, and he was like, I don't mind.
Don't mind.
Yeah.
And there was there was that cool balcony spot when they threw Wheeler off the top of the balcony, and then Kane did a moonsault onto him, and then Hobbs was going to do something, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
That was quite funny. there was quite a lot of like cool things, but there was
Yeah.
a bit where
And
when someone interfered, I was like, oh, that's how the match is gonna end.
which one? Because there was 2 interferences.
The one that I'm gonna have a problem with. It's obvious.
Go on.
Right.
Yeah, when they're doing the play-by-play or going through it as for continuity, so you can just skip to that.
Yeah. So it's come near the end, right? And
Yeah.
it's Kenny and Moxley in the ring, and they were talking about Kenny and Moxley have history because X amount of years ago on this day, Moxley came through the crowd and hit Kenny. Blah 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 blah. So Kenny's about to pin Moxley, and then someone comes in at hood, hits him with the briefcase, and it's Gabe Kidd. And oh, here we go. And then, yeah. And then I thought, what?
Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I thought actually, for some reason, I thought Gabe Cooper was actually going to be in this match.
Yeah, same here. I was like, oh, okay, because technically, Bullet Club and the Elite are.
He
thing again
in something before when he was getting involved. So
yeah. And then they start beating up Kenny. They give him all their finishers, and then Mox puts him in the choke.
Wait. You've got a bit where they put the pins in Kenny's mouth, and they gave him the EVP trigger.
Yeah, but then I think someone else gave them a couple of moves before that. Then they do the pin thing.
Yeah,
and then it gets broken up. But I was like, if this is how this match ends, I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And then Smojo come in and stop the pin, and they all start brawling again. And then they somehow the ambulance hasn't left, which makes sense because it's a small event. I'm not being sarcastic. Like, it makes sense. The ambulance is still there because it's a small event. It should be there. So they went their way up to there, and they look all the Death Riders and Kid.
Oh, wait. So I thought first of all you were speaking about the first interference where it was a Hook.
Oh, I didn't mind Hook. Hook's Hook. It's cool.
Yeah. But he came in his orange hoodie. He hit who did he hit with the thing?
Claudio.
Was it Claudio?
Yeah,
Claudio
because
was in the chair. He was staring down Smojo.
Yeah.
And then Smojo's like, "Come in, do something." And then the Hook's like, "Nah, because you won the trio title without me." Not really, but that's how he seemed like.
I think that's what they're trying to play. I'm like, really? That's what you're gonna? Yeah. Okay, sure.
And then, like you say, right? Their fighters they find all the way to the ambulance, and then out of nowhere, Mark Briscoe comes out. There's a flip center on the Death Riders. I'm like, hold on a second, right?
Yeah.
They should have left them in the ambulance, and then the what's the thing on the top of the car? What do you call it?
What the siren?
The sunroof.
Oh yeah.
The sunroof.
Yeah.
You should have seen it like as that was going on there. They're getting close to the ambulance. He should have climbed out the sunroof and then did the
yeah.
You'd be like, oh, he was still in there.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd make more sense.
Other than because he came out. He seemed like he came out of the entrance. So like, why are you interfering? You know.
Yeah.
If you're still there already, then it makes sense for you to be interfering because you're still in the thing that they're trying to get into.
Yeah, which makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
and like you said, then they locked all the. It's not meant to be comedy, right? But they managed to lock all the Death Riders in the ambulance. Yeah. And for some reason, the doors don't open at the front of it. Whatever, right?
But it makes sense because I think it's for security reasons, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then so then. Then where the Young Bucks, it's only left in the ring, Young Bucks and Kenny and Swerve. And then Young Bucks like, wait, where are you guys? And then Kenny and Swerve start beating them up, hit a V trigger and a house call. And then Swerve tells Kenny to take Matt. Yeah, because Matt was one. No, Nick, sorry. Take Nick up to the ramp. Yeah, where there's a table set up. And then Swerve does something to Matthew. Humbro he really does. And then he's gonna give him a stomp, and then Nana's like, no, take these, and it's his new trainers with pins in it.
Yeah.
And then takes forever him to put them on, which makes sense. And then
because they've got to cut to Kenny giving Nick the one-winged angel through the tables, through the electrical equipment, so they both get electrocuted or the sparks or whatever, you know.
So like Kenny mills about getting ready so they can kind of do it like not in sync. One does one and one does the other thing, innit?
Yeah.
So then Kenny gets Nick up, gives him one angel off the ramp through table that explodes and get electrocuted, and then Swerve hits a Swerve stomp on the other Young Buck for the pin.
Yeah.
And good match.
Yeah. Look, You know what you're in for when you're
Yeah.
in these matches, and usually entertaining. They're not usually over the top, bloody or overly violent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they are spectacles. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the semi spot fest matches, depending on who's in it.
Yeah.
But there's lots of spots going on.
Yeah.
We didn't mention before, but the Bucks being the Bucks, right? Because if you've seen them on the Indies, they super kick women.
They super kick everyone.
They are, exactly. They super kick the referee as well, which they did here as well.
Yeah, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all inclusive. I'm going to put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
They super kicked the little kid as well. The young kid. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. See there.
For the kid's birthday, they kicked him in the face. All right.
Oh.
They were going to give the Meltzer driver to the Willow Nightingale. I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah.
But what am I expecting with these guys? Of course, you know.
I've got to say that Swerve and
they didn't give it to her. She reversed it.
Yeah, and then her and Swerve gave him a Meltzer driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or the Indie Taker. No, Indie Taker, because the Meltzer driver is the one with the flip. Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah, just remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, good match.
Yeah. Very enjoyable, over the top kind of brawl. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. The Paragon versus the Don Callis family, which you were like to me. why is this match here? But
Oh yeah.
what was your beef with this match, by the way?
No,
because you hadn't got to this match yet, but you were wondering why there was still 2 hours after the end of the Anakin Arena match.
Yeah, because like I forgot it was them versus Paragon. I just thought it was Don Callis match. Like, oh, these guys.
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot also, and I was like, wow, this main event is going to be really long.
Yes, that's
which it was long, but it wasn't going to be 2 hours.
No, and then it just threw me off, and then the kind of thing that I was like, oh, this is kind of sucky. When they're doing the hype package to the match, right? And then Tom got that. Don Callis is like, I'm gonna give you the big three of the Don Callis family. It's like, oh crap, cool. So you're underselling everyone else in your faction. Yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. Yep. So
the big three are Kaneshke Teska,
yep,
Josh Alexander, and
Kyle
Fletcher.
Yeah.
Now, I would say, would you say Lance Archer's more of the big three than Josh Alexander?
Yes, and it's gonna sound really bad. I'm gonna tell you why I'll say that. Right. Watching this match made me realize, like, wow, AEW have too many of the same person. All right, so I would say, yeah, Josh Alexander and Kyle O'Reilly are the same wrestler. No, not being bad, but like they're both like promoted as they're a weapon. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's like, wow,
technical guys.
Yeah. So it's like, oh wow, you've already got this. You know what I mean? Like, so
that's probably why they put them in the match together, because they're like their styles are similar.
Yeah, and then even Roderick Strong, like them three, are basically the same wrestler.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then Carl Fletcher and Takeshita are basically the same. You know what I mean? They're basically the same wrestler as well. It's too many of the same. So like, oh, this is. Oh.
Yeah, wow. I think this was a fine breather match.
Yeah, fine breather.
It was where it needed to be. I don't know if necessarily you needed now a 6-man match after a 10-man match. Maybe you would have swapped this with the tag match or something like that.
Yeah.
Just so you got. But anyways. Yeah. I can't say this is any more than what it was.
Yeah.
Other than Adam Cole being in it and being the TNT champion, but
yeah.
Even then.
Literally, this match just at the end just seems like, oh, this is the advertisement for walking in for Forbidden Door. Okay.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because after the match when Fletcher won,
yeah,
Fletcher got the pin for his team
on Kyle O'Reilly, which I was like, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, no, I accept because Kyle Fletcher's the one that they he had that feud with Ospreay, so they're kind of trying to build him.
Yeah, I know.
And he had a couple of wins back and forth, so he is an important person in the Don Callis faction.
Yeah, I suppose.
Though Lance Archer should be more important than where he is, but
yeah. Well, that ship's kind of sailed now, sadly.
Yeah. So Lance Archer came in and started beating up the Paragon.
Paragon, yeah. All of them. Yeah.
The Paragon is not a person, by the way. It's the name of Adam Cole's group.
Yeah.
Even though they were the United.
They were the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no. Wait, hold on. What were they? Oh, the Undisputed Era. Yeah.
The Undisputed Era.
And
then they were.
By the way, The United Kingdom, which is why I stopped for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
that can't be right. That's not right.
See, they were the United. So there was Undisputed Era. Then it became the Undisputed Elite when it was the Young Bucks for that bit, and then it became Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah.
And now Paragon.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so Lance Archer came in there, started throwing spine busters, and who else was in there?
RPG.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Yeah. That's it. And then Brody King and Ishii came out. They, for some reason, when the music played, they started walking out and they stopped, right? So they could have Tanahashi's music play as he comes in.
Yeah.
With his legs really battered, right?
It looked uncomfortable watching him, man.
But it's like that moment where your entire team's getting beat over there, but wait, let's stand over here for And I tell you what was funny is that one guy ran out so they had the brawler the other the Don Callis we went towards them, all three of them, right?
Yeah.
And Tanahashi just hit his guy in the head, right? The guy just flops to the floor, rolls to the side, while Brody King and Ishii are actually brawling with people, and Tanahashi's just like, all right, and he just keeps on walking.
It just made me feel
it's like he had God mode deflection.
Yeah.
For that entire segment, he was walking down to the ring because no one tried to touch him.
It just made me feel uncomfortable, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like watching him walk.
He was not walking comfortably. I'm telling you that, man.
No.
If it's gonna be a 5-man tag match or whatever for Fumador, I hope he does not do much. I just hope he does his great. He did a
High fly flow.
No. What's that other move? The sling blade.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not needing him to do any high fly flows or anything where he needs to land on the legs because he looked like he was not walking well at all. However, it might just be that he didn't have his knee braces underneath his trousers or whatever.
Yeah, probably. But it just seemed uncomfortable. I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, it was an alright match.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone in that match could have been doing something better. But yeah.
Yeah. Or you could have just had a one-on-one match. Adam Cole, TNT versus Tile versus either Takeshita or Kyle Fletcher.
Nah, they got I guess they got to kind of build to that, and then it's kind of obvious if Fletcher's gonna win because again they're trying to push him. Yeah. But hey.
Okay. All right. So men's Owen Hart tournament finals, the actual main event of the show, which by the way I accept where it is.
Yeah,
it makes sense to actually put it at the end because it's actually a really important match. The way they built it, basically on Dynamite, they just said, they asked, can we go to the main event? Yeah. Okay, fine. That's that, essentially.
Okay, sure.
But it's the people involved. The Hangman and Will Ospreay, they're both at the main event level.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who's going to be who's number one contender coming out of this is heading into All In.
All In, so lose to Moxley. Yeah.
Yeah. But where they were and where they are based on the card, like structure-wise in the kayfabe universe of AEW, they're both at the top. So it's just like who is going to be the man for this particular match?
Yeah.
When you're watching this match, did you think this was going to be either way? Each person could have won, and it would have been fine.
In a way, yeah. But I wanted from day one. I wanted Hangman to win because I don't know. Okay. I feel like he deserves it more than. It's not really bad then.
See, now here's the thing, right? This was my logic, and not to say this is throwing a bias or anything like that, right? Because they swapped All In and Forbidden Door position-wise, and this is closer to All In. That you'd think if they're doing something with Ospreay, it'd be in London.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he can headline a London pay-per-view without being in the title match. So still fine, right? But if he won here, he'd then probably actually get his title shot in Forbidden Door, which would mean but you have several months in between that, so it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's why I thought Hangman was going to win, because it's not really. But I was like, still, there's no surefire win for each person, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
When I was starting to watch the match.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And
So at this point, you're thinking whoever's going to win is just going to lose to Moxley anyways, right?
Yeah, which is sad, but
Okay.
it is what it is. Like, but I feel like Hangman, in my head, like percentage wise, has more of a chance of winning than Ospreay.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
But that's because of your personal opinion, rather
no,
than
not
you
personal
thinking-
opinion, like storyline wise.
Yeah.
Like his storyline kind of makes sense because you know he started off his lows, then he went to his highs, then he went back to low again, and now he's sort of on his descent to try and get back to being who he is. So like character progression, right? It makes more sense, doesn't it, for him to like overcome.
And funny enough, this guy managed to be a despicable heel.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm gonna try and be a good man, and the crowd is still behind him. Yeah, whatever the ebbs and flows, the crowd just goes with it.
Yeah,
you know, they boo him when he needs to be booed, and when he's like, I'm on the comeback, boys, the crowd's like, yeah.
So I'm saying like, so it kind of it makes sense. Like you all know, I'm not the hugest Ospreay fan, right? But like, what is his story?
Yeah. Well, to be fair as well, he's had his fair share of big match wins.
Yeah.
And he's over this whether he wins or loses anyways, right? Just because pure sheer ring ability.
Yeah.
But they can hold off his ascension for a little bit longer.
Because like him winning would just be okay because he's Ospreay, he's winning. But like, no, his character, as much as he goes on like, oh, he's got to do, he doesn't really have a character. And for him to beat Moxley, who's basically sort of taken over AEW, you need a character behind that, right? So that's why I think either Hangman Page, even though it's like 5% chance he's going to beat him, or Darby Allin, who is like Mr. AEW forever, is beating Mox. Yeah.
Which then they're like, because he should have Darby Allin should have done it by now, except that last year he couldn't climb Everest, so he's like, well, I'm going to do it this year anyway. So,
yeah.
And then like the joke, when he gets to the top of Everest, he's going to cop and drop down back to the bottom. Watch when he comes back, by the way, and he has a standard Darby Allin suicide video. Yeah,
of course.
Use that footage.
Yeah, of course. Gosh. But yeah,
anyways,
this match was really good.
So they started with some chain wrestling, and I was like, when you see enough Bret Hart matches, you know that when they start chain wrestling, this match, the match is going to go long.
yeah.
And this match was paced as well, in the sense that not that it was slow, but it was gradual.
Yes.
Which then I thought also is another clue that this match is going to go on long.
Yeah. But when it picked up, it picked up. Okay.
Yeah. Because they were just, by the end of it, they were just smashing each other.
Yeah. Because like
it's funny as well, because it's like when Ospreay's hitting Adam Page, and Adam Page is like, nah, come on, and he just starts walking towards him while he's taking the hits. I'm like, okay, I want to say that's necessarily the bully tactics, but that's just like, you're the one getting hit, and you're the one walking forward, backing the guy in the corner. I'm like, Adam Page, all right?
Because like his character's like the man who's got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Like, I ain't mucking about, man. I ain't mucking. You know, you come for me, you better go for me.
Yeah. And I liked how he hit a buckshot really early in the match as well. I was like, that's pretty cool. Right.
Yeah. And they try to do like all their finishes and signature moves right at the beginning.
Yeah.
To get counted, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, makes sense. Sense. Everyone's fresh, but you like, if you're gonna try and go for me, if you're gonna take the shot, then I'm also gonna try and take the shot, which is like tip for tat sort of thing, Yeah,
man. There's one. It's still to this day. It's a move that Ospreay does, and I still to say to understand why he does it because it's stupid. And we spoke about it before. The one where they're draping over the rope, right? And then he shooting star presses them onto their back. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Which, by the way, just reminded me of something. So during the Mercedes Moné Jamie Hayter match, Jamie Hayter was kind of dropping through the ropes at one point.
Yep, and held herself up for too long. Yeah.
But what was funny was, she leaned back to go down, but I think instead of taking a hit and smoothly going down, she kind of inched herself further back to make sure her feet hooked the rope.
Yeah.
And then so Mercedes then could do the Meteoro, but I was like, okay, that wasn't super smooth, but you know what?
But,
for safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, because if your feet miss the ropes, yeah, if you don't, if you know,
Yeah, then you're
if you slide out and your feet miss the ropes, or it's just going to be one of those things where you might have too much momentum actually not take the hook them. So fair enough. Anyways, sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, so that move he done it because I thought he hadn't done a move in a while. And you're like, well, I still don't understand why you do this move.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
Other than that, it was very good. Lots of countering, people getting kicked in the face and punched in the face.
Yeah. Styles clash off the apron onto the floor.
That looks so stupid.
Which I will say, right? It didn't look super safe.
No.
But Ospreay did let go of Adam Page so his knees could hit the ground before Adam Page's face hit the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, he tried to be as safe as possible, but the thing is, like, it's just like,
that move.
Yeah. And then Adam Page waited till the 9 count to get in. I thought he was gone. I was like, but this match can't finish on a count out.
No, they were trying to build the drama. I was like, oh, okay. That's cool, I guess. Yeah.
Will Ospreay took a buckshot and he flipped inside out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be it, but no, he kicks out, and then I think Adam Page then kicks out of a what's it called, a hidden blade.
Hidden blade, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a point where when I think it was the second buckshot, actually the third one, because he did one when he flipped off the top and then did it off the top rope. It was one when he was standing there and then Will Ospreay was like staggering up, and then he took off his elbow pad, started swearing, and he was running up for the hidden blade.
Yeah.
And then
this is where they were like, they see each other going for the finisher. Like, fine, we're just going to see who hits it first.
Yeah, and I like that. I thought that was pretty good. And I was like,
that's I want to say a necessary callback, but when Ospreay and Bryan Danielson did their running finishes at each other as well, and he just happened to catch Bryan Danielson because his elbow went over the knees.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Adam Page using the Angel's wings and then the best moveset ever. I was like, all right.
I like how he flopped it, but then went no, and it did it. Like, good on you.
Yeah, it's just like, by the way, I defeat Christopher Daniels, therefore I absorb his moveset.
And
okay.
I love when wrestlers do that. I love that when you've defeated someone, made them retire, you take one of their moves. I love it.
And that's why you were hating when I said Ospreay did the Styles Clash, because he's going to beat AJ first and then take his move.
Yeah, he has to. What are you doing? And then he's kind of like, for me, the reason why I don't really like Ospreay doing it, it's kind of like buffered down the move, because like that's AJ's finisher, right? And he just did that standard move.
I don't think he's done it either as a setup for the hidden blade, or he's done it to the outside where it's not going to be a pin.
But then even a setup for the hidden blade makes no sense.
Well, no, because you hit the ground with your face and then you sell up on your knees.
No,
so then you can hit across the back of the head with the hidden blade.
And then but even that makes no sense, because you hit like Style Clash, right?
Yeah,
you hit down like that, and then when he rolls him over for the pin, right?
No, yeah. That's what AJ Styles does, right?
Yeah, but then
when Ospreay hits them, and then because his feet are still hooked, yeah, he raises so he can do a forward roll. So he's putting them into the position where they're on their knees.
Okay.
And that's when he can go for the hidden blade.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I see this.
He doesn't do the side roll, which is what AJ Styles does when you get into the sunset flip position.
Yeah. Okay.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of AJ Styles, and I know I'm going to interrupt this match to say, they did the bit where back to Trick Williams winning the title off Joe Henry. Just before that, they did the promotional video about the TNA title.
Yeah.
And AJ Styles was doing the voiceover for it.
What was it?
And then they had clips of the people that were currently in WWE.
Yeah, that were in TNA.
Who had won the title. So they had Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley.
Yeah.
AJ himself. Who else was there? Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
And they didn't have Samoa Joe, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Who else did they have?
I'm have to give
they didn't use Nick Nemeth either, but I think because there's the people that won it pre-come. Oh, they had Bully Ray as well.
Okay, but if they had Bully Ray, they should have had Aldis, because he had that same belt that he had.
Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, Aldis hasn't wrestled yet.
Yeah. So
in WWE, so
makes sense, doesn't it?
But anyway, they didn't put Nick Nemeth in it, so whatever,
Yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay, I might check that.
I think they had Matt Hardy, but they didn't have Jeff Hardy for some reason.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Well, Jeff Hardy won it like three
I
times.
think unless I missed something, right?
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay. I'll check it out.
But look, good on them. They got AG to narrate it because he was the face of TNA at that point. Anyways,
Yeah.
Didn't even have Bobby Roode on it, by the way, and now he's a producer. So
yeah, that's probably why. Another one I'm gonna say. But you saying that now, right? WWE was showing stuff for their AAA Worlds Collide event, right?
Yeah.
And there's a clip, and you see someone doing like a tope onto someone, and the person getting toped is one of the Young Bucks. I was like, first time Young Bucks been on WWE television. But yeah, that's hilarious.
So that was the WWE TNA clips to say. I don't know if where you rank TNA according to NXT or whatever, right? But yeah. At least they did the thing and it made sense.
Yeah, but so back to this match.
Yeah. There was a bit where Adam Page went to do a dead eye.
Oh yeah. And
the table collapsed just before. The thing is, I think he was about to go down on his knees, but the table fell, collapsed as well. So he it was just like a second off.
Yeah.
But he still came down because his legs buckled because the table's buckled. Right?
Yeah. And then
he did the exact same spot again, which I do accept. Sometimes you don't want them running the same thing over and over again, right? No. If they botch it, right? But it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna hit it. I hit you with it, right? I kind of hit you with it, yeah.
Yeah.
But because I didn't get all of it, because the table went, I'm just gonna hit you with it again, which is fine because it's that time where Batista was having that match with Undertaker, and he's like, he Batista bombed him, and he was like, you know what? I don't want this guy kicking out, so I'm just going to pick him up, Batista bomb him again.
Yeah, which makes sense. Oh, I like when they improvise stuff like that. It's good.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Any other comments you want? You want?
The finish.
Before we head to the finish.
No, like this match was long, but I felt like it needed to be long.
Yeah. Because basically it was essentially the two guys. I wouldn't say the two guys at the top tier, yeah, but they're there, you know.
Yeah.
As far as the people that AEW are pushing to the title, these two would be within the top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could say they're top 1 and 2.
Yeah.
As far as storyline goes at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're just seeing who is the actual true number 1 contender.
Yeah. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. So Will Ospreay tried to hit One Wing Angel, and I guess you would have been like, he's a move stealer if he actually hit, right?
No, I was gonna, but then I was like, if Hangman kicks out, I'm okay with it because he's the only person who's ever kicked out of One Wing Angel, so I'll be fine with it.
What, did he actually kick out?
Yeah,
no, I don't think he's kicked out.
Yeah,
no,
he kicked out.
No, he did it on Kenny, and Kenny kicked out.
He did but their match for the AEW title, all those years ago, Kenny gave it to him and he kicked out.
Did he kick out?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Are we sure Kota Ibushi's not the only person to kick out of one from Kenny Omega?
No. Hangman kicked out.
Okay. All right. You sure it wasn't a rope break?
No, he kicked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I you know what? Either I blanked it or I can't remember. Or actually, maybe I didn't watch that match at the time. So
because they made a big thing about it.
Because before we were reviewing the pay-per-views, actually did not I didn't watch them, so that might have happened before we started buying them for this review. Because I remember the Moxley versus Kenny Omega barbed wire match.
Yeah.
I didn't actually. We didn't review. You watched it, but I didn't, so we didn't review it. Yeah, and then we started doing a regular. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But no, hold on. I can't remember. Personally, I can't remember. I'm not saying it did or didn't happen. I just say I can't. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I watched that match and I can't remember it.
Yeah,
but
he kicked out, and that's why they made a big thing about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then Adam Page does the discus clothesline, turning Will Ospreay inside out, and then he's like buckshot inside out again.
Yeah.
And and then he gets a 1-2-3 pin. I was like, all right, well, at that point where you put enough oomph behind everything, he's just literally trying to destroy this guy's throat.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and you know, clotheslines you hit across your upper chest, but the way that they make it look is like they're hitting you across the throat. At that point, you probably destroyed the guy's voice box. So
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, all right, actually,
it's fine. We won't get any.
And then he gets the 1-2-3, and he gets the win. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. He walks over to the title. He picks up. Does he pick up the? He goes to the trophy, picks up the title, and then he walks back in the ring. All ominous. Yeah. You're like, okay, what is he gonna do to Will Ospreay, who's just kind of there, just sitting like in disbelief, and he just he shakes his hand. I'm like, all right, okay, all that, and Page would have just probably picked him up and clotheslined him, but
but he's a new man now, so
Yeah, exactly. He's got his full-fledged face turn.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah, only to get beat by Moxley is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Sadly, yeah. But it is what it is. It's storytelling, isn't it? Storytelling.
Yeah. So really enjoyable, really good match. That built slow and then became, hard hitting. Yeah. They didn't just right out the gate because we got time to fill.
Yeah. And it was worth it. What does it justify this whole pay-per-view being 4.5 hours long? Not really.
Well, okay. To be fair, I think you could have cut out. Look, you could have put 1 or 2 matches on the pre-show and it'd been fine. I say the Paragon match with the Dunk Out of his family could have been on the pre-show.
Or on another event completely. Yeah.
Yeah, and the FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia probably could have been on the pre-show, and I'd been fine with that as well.
Yeah.
I didn't mind these AEW pay-per-views being 4.5 hours. When there were 5 hours at one point, I was like, that's just too much, right?
Yeah.
4.5 hours, 4 hours and a bit, fine, right? You would say 4 hours is kind of the cut-off point, right? But if there's a little bit of overrun
fine.
For
Yeah.
But you think 4.5 hours is a bit too much?
Way too much, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I would say 2. Depending on if you say the final match has got a 16-minute time limit, and then it goes, for example, to the 59th minute or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then you're kind of okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, it just dragged. I won't say dragged because I felt smooth watching it. I didn't feel but it just when you look at the time, it's kind of wow, this is gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
It's that, but
I will say overall,
yeah,
most of the matches were good.
Yeah, overall, yeah.
I'd say maybe that they're all at least watchable.
Yeah, they're all watchable.
Yeah, and you have a decent amount of standout matches.
Yeah. But Double or Nothing is always normally pretty good, so I'll give it that.
Yeah. Okay. So we know what the matches we know that are happening all in at the moment are Okada versus Kenny Omega for the international title.
We know, but they haven't announced it. But yeah.
Yeah, because Kenny might, quote unquote, lose the title in the 4-way match. Which, by the way, they have 3. I think they have 2 Canadians in that. And so there's at Fyter Fest they're gonna have a 4-way international title match, which Kenny is one of the opponents.
Yeah.
Then they've got Josh Alexander, who's a Canadian. They're both Canadians, right?
Yeah.
And then they've got 3 Mexicans in there.
3 Mexicans.
And 1 guy from the US, I think.
Yeah, Brody.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You've got more international people there. You could have had a person from each country of whoever. Could have someone from Japan, someone from Australia, someone from the UK, Gabriel Kidd, right?
Well, not really. He's New Japan, but yeah.
Yeah. But just someone from the UK in there. Well, some from Mexico, fine. Who else they got? Because Kenny's Canadian already, so that
Claudio's in this one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, exactly. A dude from Switzerland. You could have just had.
Yeah, but no, I'm not thinking that well, but I guess.
And then we got the Adam Page, John Moxley match.
Yeah.
Which you're saying you think that John Moxley's going to win.
Yeah, he's gonna win, but he's not gonna win clean. It's gonna be shenanigans.
Oh, of course, he's going to do the equivalent of Roman Reigns with his bloodline.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
He's doing it with the Death Riders.
Yeah, it's just more boring. Yeah. And Mercedes versus Tony.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling we're gonna get Kenny. Actually, no, I was gonna say Kenny and Swerve versus Young Bucks, but no, Kenny will do anything for Carter. I don't know.
Yeah, so Swerve and someone versus Young Bucks. Then we're saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
But then who can he team up with?
Trying to think. Yeah.
And it's going to be Swerve and Ospreay, which kind of is going to be a bit of a how are we going to get there? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, MJF might have turned on the Hurt Syndicate, and it'll be MJF and a tag team partner of whoever is going to team with MJF as the Hurt Syndicate. So
yeah.
So I hope that they continue that partnership for a bit.
I want it. It has to go on for quite long. It can't be like a little like a month thing, like a short thing, and then I swerved you. Or I'll be happy, right, if he's in the Hurt Syndicate for like 2 years on me. Like, oh, okay, they've actually kind of gone off the beaten track of predictable MJF storylines. Okay,
yeah. And he's got to be at some point where his ego is just too much, right? Or they're like, his ego is too much for us, sort of thing.
Something.
But it's not like you shouldn't build it. You shouldn't be like just instant. You should be a gradual one.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other matches.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. So I believe All In will be the next one we're reviewing, anyways, because that's on July the 12th.
Yeah,
yes?
July 12th. Yeah, and then after that, is it July or June?
Well, just July. Yeah, it's July. It's July.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be the next one.
And then we've got Forbidden Door on the 24th. But when is SummerSlam?
I think that's early August, if I'm correct.
2 days as well. I'm not 100% sure on that myself now.
It is 2 days, but I'm trying. Let me check.
No, as in, do you think SummerSlam should be 2 days? Is what I'm saying.
If you can get it work for WrestleMania, I reckon you can get it work for SummerSlam.
See, here's the thing, right? I accepted for SummerSlam.
August.
I didn't even think Wrestle Kingdom should have been 2 days, but I get it for that period of time they did.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just the amount of like, okay, they got to sell the tickets, right? But WrestleMania, okay, fine, people will pay for it to make money, right?
Yeah.
But in 2 right night SummerSlam, just getting a bit greedy, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it depends.
Ticket prices are insane as well to begin with.
Like, I feel like if they book it right, it could work, right? Like one night is dedicated to both titles. I mean, one title. You know what I mean? Then it can work right. Like basically, how to do it at WrestleMania. Wrestle Kingdom, like you said, Wrestle Kingdom. When it was 2 days, at first it made sense, but then when he started doing one night, as basically was a Road 2 show, and then the next night was then it made sense to bring it back. But then Wrestle Kingdom, in my opinion, is just way too long as it is anyway. It's like 7 hours.
So now they do Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, you kind of be like, all right, one's the main show, and the other's the crossover show.
Yeah, which
and you're like, okay, fine.
Makes sense now. Yeah. I don't know. SummerSlam, I have to wait and see. It could be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be all right. You know, it could be terrible.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? Are we saying that the Gunther versus Goldberg match might be one of those?
Yeah, you never know. Hopefully not.
It'll either be there, or do you reckon it'll be at Survivor Series? Because I don't think Goldberg's he's saying definitely this year, not next year. So it won't be a Royal Rumble, it won't be a WrestleMania next year.
Hopefully, stretch out to Survivor Series when no one really cares anymore. Yeah.
All right. And do you think the CM Punk John Cena match will be at SummerSlam, or do you think they're going to do at Money in the Bank?
No, they won't do it at Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank they've already set up.
It's too close, right?
That, and they've already set up that's going to be Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody. Yeah.
Yeah, it was only because I say that's where CM Punk had his match with
Cena,
yeah, back in 2011. So they're either going to do that, or when they had their rematch at SummerSlam, which then seems like the next logical place to do that match. If you
they got enough time. Yeah, they got enough time to do it do it then it's Money in the Bank, because I mean Money in the Bank's like in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. Even though realistically for Cena and Punk, you don't really need much of a build. It's sort of like
no, you just need to have enough war words, and then
literally that's it. Yeah. because they got so much history. You don't need a build really. Well,
and like you say, right, Cena's the anti-Cena.
Yeah.
Where he's not doing the stuff that you expect Cena to do, and I don't know how much of it's to hide his ring rust or incapabilities or whatever. But
Yeah.
I accept that if he's gonna do, you're saying that they're so genius they're gonna do the ways that we don't expect him to do it, which I think may have some truth to it, but it's not the angle they're going for. However, I'm sure CM Punk will be like, let's override this. And just have, the CM Punk style structured match that we did before.
I think more closer to the end of his world tour, he will do more in matches. If you know what I mean? Because obviously the ring rust will probably wear off by that time. It's like, you know what? Me and you, Phil, we're gonna do power drivers again, like we're not meant to do, and stuff like that. Yeah. And none of us can get in trouble.
Okay. So, that concludes this pay-per-view and other speculation about pay-per-view. We are going to sign off.
Yes.
I'm going to set up something and then say what I am.
Okay.
Did you what? You didn't see NXT Battleground?
No.
Okay.
Is it?
I'm the person who obstructed Booker T's favorite move, CY Chung.
Oh.
So let me explain that.
Yeah. Jordan
Grace was about to get the Devil's Kiss.
Yeah.
And she rolled outside the ring when her head was in the lock.
Yeah.
She had Stephanie back here in the electric chair position.
Yeah.
And she just dropped her on the table in front of Booker T. And then she looked at Booker T and trolled him. Yeah, Booker, go on. What are you going to say, Booker?
I might actually watch that, man. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
so I'm something that's not even to do with this pay-per-view.
Well,
so.
It happened on the same day, so.
Yeah.
Wait, did it?
Yeah. I think it happened. It seemed like it happened earlier in the day.
Yeah, I think it was early.
Yeah. Though we have been mentioning NXT during this, so it's not super relevant, but it's not irrelevant.
Yeah, it's connected somehow. Yeah. And I have been the man who still listens to mid-2000s new metal Kyle Charles, which is slightly true. I still listen to those songs on regular
By the way,
basis.
you were saying that you thought they were going to play Linkin Park, right?
Yeah.
But when they play it, do you reckon they would have been playing it with Chester Bennington vocals or the new lady vocals?
That's a good point. No, they'll probably play the Chester Bennington because, like, to make everyone feel like it's the 2000s.
Yeah, during that era, right?
Yeah. I would have cried.
Yeah. They probably would have upset the fans. Actually,
It's
probably good that they didn't do that.
Yeah, because some people are too sensitive. So that makes sense. Yeah. No offense for people who are sensitive. Just
Yeah. So signing off then.
So thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. And let us know what you thought of AEW's Double or Nothing 2025. What was your favorite match? What's your predictions for All In and Forbidden Door and beyond? Do you think Hangman's gonna beat Mox? Doubt it. But...
Do you think Darby Allin's gonna actually
He'll appear at All In.
There was speculation that he might make an appearance during this pay-per-view, and I'm like, I don't know, because he's got to come back from Everest.
Yeah, I think he's still on the climb back, so I don't know how he's
But it would have been super random if he just coffin dropped on top of the ambulance on these people, you know?
Like, oh, okay. That was inconvenient, Darby. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, so, and do you think Mercedes is going to beat Tony Storm? Let us all know in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, which is going to be in the display down below because I haven't put it on our screen thing here. Overlay, that's the word. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Give us a 5-star review, leave a like on our YouTube channel, all that lovely jubbly stuff. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.